Okay, so it seems like recently there's been a little bit of an update to Hololive and how they've been getting along, as well as some changes that they're actually making to the way that things work internally with the whole talent management, with a new article that's come out. Now, essentially, people have been covering the financial highlights for the year for cover, essentially saying due to tariff, the merch revenue was impacted pretty heavily, and because of the shutdown of Hollow Earth, this quarter is basically a loss of profit, which made them achieve only half of full year's profit forecast. So again, apparently things aren't looking so great in terms of the profits that are being made, but it said because of failing to meet the full year forecast, Cover took full responsibility by saying 20% of monthly salary from Yagoo and other directors for 2 months, while also buying back 3 million shares of stock so their shareholders aren't impacted heavily due to loss. So again, I mean, that's a pretty positive thing there. It seems like, of course, and they're going to be taking it from some of the executives that have, or directors, sorry, as they say, out of their kind of monthly salary to try and fix this issue. And obviously, yeah, a lot of the tariffs and stuff in terms of merch have been pretty bad for people just like trying to buy merch, and less people have been buying merch because it costs a whole lot more, and it's impacted a lot of that pretty heavily. So yeah, I mean, it's to be expected. As you can see here, it says, yeah, merchandise. I mean, this is, yeah, minus 13.5%, which obviously is not great at all. But I mean, it's something that maybe they could get back from. There's a lot of minuses here. So again, that's what's going to happen. Say for the next fiscal year 2027, Cover decided to keep that 50 billion yen revenue and 7 billion yen profit goal, with the second half being the main hitter for the company. Cover now relies on the success of Hollow Dreams and Hollow TCG, while hoping that talent management is fixed ASAP. Now, again, people saying revenue overall is increasing, but net profit is not. This is because they've recorded the disposal of slow-moving merch produced in 2023 and 2024, and wrote down all of Hollow software assets as losses. As mentioned in the presentation, these are one-time expenses. I said, I mean, it impacted the forecast comparing to the actual result. Expected 6B, but made 5B. I see the full year revenue increase, but it's pretty obvious that tariffs and other stuff was holding the revenue back from the true potential. So I'm not an expert, but doesn't that chart say that basically they made enough money from all incomes, but it's expenses that got them below the target? So even without the write-downs, Cover still falls short around about 3 billion yen in revenue and 1 billion yen in profit comparing to what they expected to earn. 49.3 billion yen in revenue is pretty big, but this result isn't satisfied compared to Cover's predictions. So it seems like they didn't meet the predictions that they really wanted to, but they've got a couple of things that might be changing as well. For example, this one article which has come out saying that Yagoo will actually be taking direct control of talent management. He's been the president kind of the thing and hasn't really had much like direct involvement with a lot of the talents, but it seems like now he is going to have much more control over talent management and how things are sorted, which is going to be very interesting, right? And hopefully he can do a lot. Hopefully he can get things going forwards, right? Saying, I'm not super familiar with any details, but the current bad situation isn't caused by Tanago-san or anything. That if Yagoo manages it directly, the Hollow members would feel reassured, right? It's a return to basics, isn't it? Good luck, said Yagoo. You finally turned back into a human, huh? So yeah, obviously a lot of people pretty trustworthy and believing in Yagoo that he will be able to step up and maybe help in terms of managing all the talent and things like that, and hopefully things will go better a little bit better next year with like less tariffs and stuff, and hopefully just being able to get more profit off, for example, like the TCG, like they said. That's been a really popular thing. I've even gotten a lot of cards for the TCG recently, so I'm directly funding Hololive, by the way. If you guys see here, look, here we go. Here's some of the ones that I pulled. Here's a little quick segment. Here's some of the good ones that I pulled, at least. There we go. I might make more videos on this because it is actually quite fun to kind of pull them. Maybe I'll do some like pulling videos. Oh, this Narissa one's really nice, by the way. Bro, look at that. Oh my god. Anyways, that's a little bit of a side tangent. Obviously, as I said, it's going very well. It seems like, people have been buying a lot of the Hololive OCG, as they call it. But Right. And then obviously we can continue on, going to say massive change to cover structure. The talent management department, which was a sub-department of the VTuber division, will now become a separated department with Yagoo as its head director. So now Yagoo himself will be directly responsible for how his talents are managed. Which obviously comes up in here. We'll look at some of the responses from fans in a second. So Cover Corporation addressed its talent management practices during a financial results briefing for the media held on May 14th. Cover has set a goal for this fiscal year to clearly concentrate its management resources and will strengthen its focus on supporting outstanding talent. Cover's unique technologies and discovering and nurturing nature, in particular regarding support, the company is currently working on improving the creative environment and strengthening talent management and fostering a healthy community. He said, regarding the talent management department, which was previously a management department within the overall VTuber business, it will now be made an independent specialized department. The aim is to strengthen the department by clearly defining its position and increasing staff. Furthermore, the company's president and CEO, Motoaki Tanego, will be assuming the roles of head of operations and talent in April 2026. So now, obviously, he will, while he oversaw the entire operations president last fiscal year, he will now be directly responsible for each department, which will allow him to accelerate operations even further. So yeah, it seems like maybe they got some, big plans and stuff moving forwards for that as well, which honestly, I think, it's a good move, at least from what I've seen, right? A lot of people seem to be very happy with Yagoo taking a little bit more direct, responsibility for the talents, right? Saying looks like this year, or TBM starting this month, Cover will heavily focus on more support for outstanding talent, so boosting the talent that are very popular and stuff like that. Saying it's proprietary technologies, talent discovery and development, and Yagoo is centralizing control and Cover. He will be the head of it, the entire operations division. He will also head the new talent division, and he will act as the final decision maker for the talent division. Also, the talent division is now an entirely independent division. They didn't clarify what the independents mean, but only that it will have an increase in staffing, which means more managers and I guess more talent discovery / development teams. So can I just say that I love that people still calling me Yagoo after all these years, which is quite funny. Was a Yagoo of glasses. Yeah, people said Yagoo donning the Infinity Gauntlet. Fine, I'll do it myself. Which again is crazy. Say seems like Yagoo realizes that way too many wannabe head cooks in the company that resulted in Hololive having multiple miscommunications, project rejections, and many more. A good first step to steer the ship. Honestly, I think the whole Japanese style of business isn't so great and could be improved. After all, it's the reason why Suisei created Studio Stella, which obviously, yeah, that did happen recently. Suisei created Studio Stella to kind of help with promoting her own stuff, like on her own, which obviously is a little bit different to some of the other Hololive talent, right? People said it's really feeling like we're going to head into a new era for Hololive, which obviously, yeah, I mean, it does kind of feel like that, right? And obviously, although there was some kind of like, they didn't meet the expected kind of profit and whatever that they really wanted to make, it seems like they're still looking to expand and grow and, still have some, positive kind of outlooks, right? I'm glad to hear, but I hope his health can keep up. I think this industry is way too young to find any decent executive. You either have it or you don't. There's no playbook. I do hope Yagoo can eventually find someone that can share at least some of the burden. Can we clone A-chan? Which obviously, yeah, it's quite funny. Then that's good news. Was he not in charge before? That he's in charge overall, but had delegated people to lead those tasks. Now he's going to be the harbinger and assuming direct control, which, yeah, I think that is essentially, a lot of people were confused about, like, because he is the CEO of the company, right? And all of this kind of stuff. Did he have direct control in the first place? Like, surely he did, if he literally, is in a very high position. But I think, yeah, what kind of happened for the last couple of years or so was that essentially he just kind of delegated it to someone else who can handle a lot of the talents, and maybe that just didn't go as well as they thought it would. So now he's actually back to taking direct control and actually making the direct decisions, whereas before maybe he gave the kind of decisions to someone else who is like, delegated to do that kind of stuff, right? Whereas now it's going to be just him, which obviously I think will be good, right? Because of course, a lot of people trust him and a lot of people believe in him to kind of steer the ship in the right direction. But yeah, I mean, very, very interesting. Of course, we'll have to see what kind of happens with this moving forwards, but I think this is overall positive, despite obviously the negative side of things with the whole, revenue. But I think that, of course, it just looks good, right? I think Yagoo can actually do something decent with, the extra kind of, I guess, what do you call it? Intervention? Would you call it? I don't really want to call it intervention because that makes it sound negative, but direct kind of just like control over a lot of the stuff that's been going on, right? But yeah, that's what I got for this video. If you guys did enjoy it, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Also, go to GameSubs, use my code Kaza, get 10% off. Again, they've got a ton of really cool stuff over there. Definitely recommend checking it out. And yeah, see you guys in the next one. That's all. See ya.